In this video, we're going to go over how to source products and where you can source them from. I'm going to share with you at least 3 or 4 channels that I use to find products, launch them to my Shopify store, and market them to my buyers. So let's get started. The first resource that we're going to take a look at is one that I like to use called AliExpress. AliExpress is pretty much a Amazon for China. 95% of the products and items that you're going to find on AliExpress are sourced and or manufactured in China, which certainly allows for them to be a lot less costlier than sourcing or manufacturing products here in the United States. Now, there's a couple of pros and cons that you're going to get with utilizing a service like AliExpress. One, as mentioned, they are located in China for the most part, so you're going to have longer shipping times. That generally is an issue for your customers because many are trained and indoctrined to have the Amazon approach. When ordering online, they want things, turned around in a day or two. So you'll have to overcome that. But we have a solution. Another con to using AliExpress also can be the quality of the goods in which you're ordering. So, what I always suggest to my students when you're using AliExpress and you're drop shipping to your customers, order a couple of samples in advance to ensure that the quality meets your standards and that your customer is not going to be blindsided when they receive their package. Now, there's a few things that you can do in an effort to protect yourself on AliExpress. Doing your due diligence certainly does help, and it helps to minimize some of the issues that you could experience later on down the road. But what we're going to do now is just do a little research, finding a couple of products, and just kind of going through that process so that you can understand how that works. So we're going to just take a random niche and we're going to see the wide range of products that we have at our disposal. So in the search bar, we're going to type, let's say, fishing. Let's say that I wanted to get into the fishing niche. Okay. As you can see, there's 184,000 products that I could potentially sell. There's some categories here on the left-hand side. And let's say that we want to sell fishing rods. Okay. So we click on fishing rods. Now, there's a few things that I like to do when doing my analysis. There's a few things that I like to look at. One is reviews. I want to read what other customers who have purchased that item, what they have to say. I also want the supplier or manufacturer to offer e-packet shipping. Now, e-packet shipping is typically going to be their fastest shipping method outside of FedEx or DHL. So typically with FedEx or DHL, you can get a product turned around in maybe 3 to 5 days, but there's going to be a large cost associated with that makes it unaffordable. With ePacket, though, a lot of times the supplier includes ePacket shipping for free, or you have to pay a nominal amount, usually $1 or $2, which is fine. E-packet shipping on average will get to the customer in around 12 days. They say between 12 and 15 days, but I'd say about 12 days. Any other shipping method generally is going to take 30, 60, even up to 90 days. So we want to stay away from those. Also, I want to see if I can find something perhaps that ships from a US warehouse. And you do that by clicking here And as you'll see, there is an option for shipping from the United States. You might experience those products to be a little more pricier than shipping the ones from China, but just to get them to your customers in a timely fashion, it could certainly be well worth it. Another thing that I look at is the rating for the supplier. I like to only use suppliers that have these blue diamonds here. Okay. Sometimes you'll notice that suppliers have badges. These badges. The difference is that these are badges that the supplier has purchased to have on their store. So they could have poor products, but they could purchase these badges to give the appearance that their rating is much higher. Whereas with these blue diamonds, those are actually earned. So based on the feedback, based on the user experience, then is a supplier giving these blue diamonds. So for the most part, I'm only sticking with suppliers that have those blue diamonds. I'm also going to be looking for positive feedback over 90%. Usually, depending on the product, it might even be 95%. But again, let's continue in our research. So what's really important when you're looking on AliExpress is finding products that have good pictures, because as we know, pictures is what sells the product. Okay, even without words, an image is worth 1,000 of them. Okay, so like this, for instance, this is a good picture. This is a fishing rod. Um, and this is a great picture because it actually shows the subject utilizing the fishing rod in action. And they have other images as well, which is good. The price actually looks pretty good. I'm not really sure how much fishing rods go for, but if you compare it to the price in China, it's probably going to be a little more if it ships from the US. Let's see. No, actually it's the same price. So that's even better. So you really can get the benefit of an inexpensive product that you can mark up 2 or 3 times and have it delivered from the US, thus getting to your customer in 5 to 7 days, which is great. Um, Also, you want to look at you want to look at the reviews. You also want to look at feedback. So this seller doesn't have any feedback. Um, so I probably wouldn't be inclined to buy from them this particular product. Plus, they don't have the blue diamond. So this would probably be one that I would skip. But I would just continue on in my research, looking to see if I can find some more options. Now, another thing to do is, let's go back to China. Sort by number of orders, which means how many of said product have they sold. Okay. So this is a good indicator that, what is this, a LED fishing rod or fishing bell? Okay, I don't know what this is, but here's some key things here. It has the blue diamonds. Their feedback is over 90%. It's at 97.6%, which is great. They do offer e-packet shipping. It costs $2.08, but that's not bad. They have a low processing time, 3 days, not bad at all. Um, and they've sold 4,201 of these items, okay, which is great. So we're going to look at this, and there's plenty of feedback. So we can even sort the feedback by pictures. So we want to see, what customers are seeing, okay? Does the product look like what is advertised? So you can sort by with pictures. You can say, I only want reviews from the United States. And just take the time to read through some of these, look and see what the customer experience is, look to see how long it took for them to receive their product. Okay. So I would use AliExpress certainly for drop shipping. Okay. Now let's say that let's look at one other thing. I'm gonna pull up something. Let's say yoga, for instance. Okay. And let's look and see jewelry. Let's see what yoga jewelry there is. So we'll do the same thing. We'll sort by number of orders. And so this is a good indication that this is a popular product, okay? So this product sells for $379. It has a blue diamond. It has positive feedback at 98%. The pictures, look pretty good. It's not a whole bunch of extra stuff in the photo, which is great. It has feedback with pictures. Okay, very fast shipping, great bracelet, super cute, came in perfect condition, great. Okay, so let's say that this was an item that I was drop shipping to my customers, and this is a very popular item. Then what I could do, perhaps, is go over to Alibaba, and and Alibaba is the wholesale side of this site. So you have AliExpress, which is the retail side. Then you have Alibaba, that is the wholesale side. So if I wanted, I could take this bracelet, and let's just take a couple of the words, and I could see how much it's going for on Alibaba. And what you'll notice is that typically the prices are going to be a lot less expensive. So we look at this product, it's selling at $379. It has free e-package shipping. But if we order this in bulk and we ship it ourselves to the customer, or we send the product to a fulfillment company and have them ship it to the customer, we could probably get this same bracelet for a fraction of that cost, probably even as low as 50 or 75 cents. So there's a great opportunity there for even higher margins if we go the wholesale route. Okay. Now, of course, you have to factor in postage and fulfillment costs. But again, there could still be some savings there. Not to mention just the overall customer experience, because when you're drop shipping from AliExpress and the package lands in your customer's mailbox, they're going to get a package with Chinese writing on it, right? Because it's coming directly from China. But if you purchase the item wholesale and you shipped it yourself, so now it just comes in a standard envelope that they're accustomed to seeing. They don't know that it even came from China. Okay. So it's all about customer experience. But let's say that you don't, even want to deal with China. You know, perhaps the idea of international shipping is scary. It's too much. There's domestic items. Excuse me. There's domestic options for you. One that I like to use is called Wholesale Central. Now, more often than not, these are going to be companies that you have to buy in bulk from. You have to order wholesale. But sometimes you'll find that there are vendors that will drop ship. So this is a directory. So basically you put in the keyword, that you're looking for. So let's go back to fishing, and it'll give you a range of suppliers that have fishing products. As you can see, there's 82 suppliers here. Okay. And it ranges. I mean, there's hats, there's shirts, there's little trinkets, there's all sorts of stuff. And each of these are different suppliers. And so if you saw something, of interest, let's say, this bucket hat was of interest, then you just click on the supplier, and you'll notice that this supplier is here in the US, but they sell other products as well. So again, there's a lot of opportunity to find other products perhaps that you want to sell. And more often than not, they're going to have telephone numbers where you can pick up the phone and give them a call and make an inquiry about a particular item. Okay. Next, which is one that we've all seen and we've all used before, perhaps, there's eBay. And so eBay is good because there are going to be a lot of suppliers from China on eBay, but there's a lot that are located here in the US, and they purchase wholesale from China and they sell them domestically for a small upcharge. But generally, there's still enough margin where you can make a profit. So, for instance, one of the things that I sold was a biker vest, right? Um, let's see if I can find one similar. This one here, I sold, I don't know, hundreds of these vests. And you see how inexpensive they are, 25, 26 bucks. And I was selling it for around 65, $70. And the great thing with this is that the supplier offered free shipping, USPS with tracking. So really, when the customer paid, 66 bucks or whatever it was, and I paid $26 for the item. What was in between was my profit. So a lot of opportunity there. And then there's just good old Google. And you'll notice that with Google, for instance, let's say, for instance, you were looking to sell biker vests. What you could do is at the end of the keyword, just put in drop ship if that's what you want to do, if you want to drop ship. And you'll see that there's going to be a lot of options, that come up. Wholesale Central, that was the website that we were just looking at, but U.S. leather jacket drop shipping services. Very simple. You can give them a call. You can see, what they're selling, what products they have, what their minimum order is. You can negotiate. A lot of times these companies don't have high MOQs, which is minimum order quantity, and they tend to work with you. Or you can do a Google search for biker vest wholesale. Wholesales, again, you're gonna find typically the best cost, the cheapest cost. So you might want to go that route. And again, you'll see there's Branson Wholesale, right? My leather showed up again, dollardays.com. So there are plenty of options for sourcing products to sell inside of your Shopify store.